G'day guys, Seeney here and welcome to another episode on the Australian Wealth channel, and today I just wanted to address a couple of things that are going on not only in Australia but also all around the globe. So thank you guys so much for watching this channel. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Really helps get these videos out to more people. So there's something that I wanted to address today on this channel. Normally I just upload on Mondays and Fridays and sometimes Wednesdays, but there's a few things that I'm just starting to see not only in Australia but also around the rest of the world, and there's a little bit of fear going on. You might have heard in the media that now all of a sudden we have a new variant of COVID that is spreading all around the world called the Delta variant, and there's a bit of concern not only here in Australia but around the rest of the globe that this might actually start to shut things down because it's so contagious. So I just wanted to address a couple of things. Now, the first thing is, what if we go into another economic shutdown? What if this starts to shut down global supply chains in the same way that we actually saw last year in March 2020, when the entire world, as you know, basically shut down? Now, the thing is, I want to go through a few things that have happened in the past in the stock market. So if we go back, let's say to 2009, we had the global economic crisis where there was a real problem in the system regarding debt and being over leveraged, which nearly collapsed the system. Now, since then, there's been a lot of different things that have happened. There's so many different events. For a while, all they could talk about on the news was the Greek debt crisis. And then we've had this thing and the next thing and the thing following that. There's going to be a double dip recession. All of this for the long term is just noise. There is always something happening in the stock market. So although we might see a shutdown not only in Sydney but also around some of these other countries, there might be some limits imposed. But are we going to see what we saw back in March 2020? I don't think so. I don't believe so at all. And if you're investing for the long term, this shouldn't change your ethos at all. What we do as long-term investors is we just dollar cost average in regardless of what the price is. So there's been so many events. The stock market's been going, during World War II, the Korean War, all of these different things, like the Cold War. There's so many events that have happened around the world, but the stock market over time has continued to rise. And, for me, looking at all this is just another blip in the radar. Don't get distracted by the noise. And I think that's what we're going to see a lot of, is just the noise. The media absolutely loves to generate clicks. And the way they do that is by, bringing out this new scary variant. They'll just pump it up and say, oh my God, it's way more contagious. And some of that is definitely true. But the thing is, a lot of it is also overblown because they want to try and get you to click on their articles. So it's in their best interest to hype things up as much as possible. But of course, with a longer term outlook, you're going to see an improvement in the stock market over time. We might see some blips. We might see it go up. We might see it go down, but this should not change your outlook in the long term. I've been around a long time to see what the stock market has done over time, and we have seen some crashes, and there's only really been two reasons that the stock market should have crashed in the last 20 years. Now, the first one is, of course, the global financial crisis, where there was actually a serious problem in the system, which had to get bailed out by the government. And of course, the second one was the initial coronavirus crisis, where the entire world was forced into lockdown, supply chains were shut down, all of the heavy industry was shut down, and we had no idea when we were going to come out of this. Now that the rest of the globe has a lot of vaccines, of course, Australia, we're still taking our time in that front, but Australia is such a small component of the rest of the globe. A very interesting fact that I found out last week is that 10% of the entire world's population lives in the southern hemisphere, which just goes to show how small Australia and a lot of the countries down this way are. 90% is in the northern hemisphere, and they're reaching very high levels of vaccination. And what we've seen is that even with these new strains, vaccinations are preventing people from getting hospitalized at a much higher rate than what we've seen for people that are unvaccinated. So knowing this, do we really think that governments are going to risk an even further economic crisis by plunging their entire populations into shutdown again? I don't think so, because now with those vaccination rates, we can see that they have the capability to put the people that need to be hospitalized in hospital without being overblown. And I think that is what the goal is at the moment for a lot of those countries. In Australia, we are obviously still trying to suppress the virus because we just don't have the vaccination levels yet. But hopefully in time, over the next couple of months, there's going to be a lot of shipments into Australia of the Pfizer vaccine. We should see a bit wider rollout. And then hopefully we can reach some sort of sense of normality. Now, while the stock market in Australia potentially might be affected over the next couple of months because Sydney is just so important to the Australian economy, it's just a good opportunity potentially if we see a crash to continue to buy at lower prices. And that's exactly what I did in March 2020. When everything was crashing and going through the floor, I was continuing to buy when I saw that there was a good deal. You know, some of my best performers, such as Revolve, which I've now sold, were up over 550% from when I bought them. So we've seen some incredible returns, and there's just some great opportunity there. So make sure, in closing, make sure that you're cutting through the noise. You know, there's so much noise and everyone's got an opinion, but have a look at the data, have a look at the facts, and look for the opportunities. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, just make sure you cut through that noise because there's so much of it. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps to get these videos out to more people. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you later.